because the way the borders are volatile for the Pakistan, and so does the hinterland situation, that is becoming really very concerning, because on the one hand it is the Balochistan Liberation Army along with the Balochistan National Army and the Balochistan Republican Army. They are carrying out the intensified operation in the Balochistan, and now the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan attacks are also picking up pace with the intelligence officers and also the Pakistani armed forces being attacked by them, and that too to the magnitude that almost in 1.5 hours a single attack is being carried out.
And now we have some breaking news coming in from West Bengal viewers. The face-off between BJP and Kolkata police right now is being witnessed after the police stopped the bike rally of Kanker Majumdar on the occasion of Paschim Bongo Divas. Now there was a slight scuffle between, between Kolkata police and Shukanta Majumdar, the Union Minister, and also he's of course the BJP Bengal leader, BJP unit leader. In fact, we're getting in reaction from Shukanta Majumdar himself. Take a listen in.
हर तरीके से कोशिश कर रही है रोकने के लिए इसको पश्चिम बंगाल दिवस मनाने नहीं दिया जाएगा। ये ममता बनर्जी का जो निर्देश है उसको पालन कर रही है पुलिस। यहाँ तक कि नेशनल फ्लैग लेकर भी जाने के लिए अलाउ नहीं करे पुलिस। एकदम शेड्यूल प्रोग्राम है और हम यात्रा कर रहे हैं कि नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस के घर तक हम जाएंगे। श्यामा प्रसाद मुखर्जी के जन्म स्थान थे से नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस के घर तक जाएंगे, नेताजी भवन तक जाएंगे। ये छोटा सा रूट हम जाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं और पुलिस हमें हर तरीके से रोक रही है।
That's the latest update we have right now. Police stopping the bike rally of Shukanta Majumdar. These are visuals coming in from Kolkata. And with that, we shift our focus to other stories that are making news from across the country. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on Friday inaugurated the 91.35 kilometer long Gorakhpur Link Expressway, which will connect Gorakhpur to key districts like Azamgarh, marking a major boost to eastern UP's road infrastructure, calling it a step towards realizing the vision of a Viksit Bharat by 2047. The CM highlighted the state's transformation from a Bimaru state to one known for its extensive expressway network. He emphasized that 6 expressway projects have been completed under his government, including the Purvanchal and Bundelkhand expressways, significantly enhancing connectivity across the region. Aam Aadmi Party leader Manish Sisodia appeared before the Delhi government's anti-corruption branch today in connection with an alleged 2,000 crore rupee scam involving the construction of classrooms in government schools. Sisodia had earlier skipped a questioning session set for 9th of June. The ACB summoned him for after registering an FIR on the 30th of April following allegations of financial irregularities in the construction of over 12,000 classrooms and semi-permanent school structures across Delhi. President Draupadi Murmu celebrated her 67th birthday on Friday with an emotional visit to the National Institute for the Empowerment of Persons with Visual Disabilities. Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted her at the Rashtrapati Bhavan and praised her on social media, saying her life and leadership continue to inspire millions. He lauded her commitment to public service, social justice, the empowerment of the underprivileged. Leaders across party lines, including Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge, also extended wishes. In the aftermath of the tragic Air India AI-171 crash in Ahmedabad, Civil Hospital Superintendent Rakesh Joshi confirmed that 215 DNA samples have been matched and the mortal remains of 198 victims have been handed over to their families. Police Commissioner G.S. Malik says that a total of 222 victims have been identified so far, 214 through DNA, 8 without DNA matching. The June 12th crash, which occurred shortly after takeoff, claimed 241 lives, including that of former Gujarat Chief Minister Vijay Rupani. India has formally launched the process to develop its 5th generation stealth fighter jet under the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, that is the AMCAR project, aimed at enhancing the Indian Air Force's air power. The Aeronautical Development Agency has issued an expression of interest to identify Indian companies capable of building 5 prototypes of the jet, which will feature advanced stealth and deep penetration capabilities. Alongside the Tejas light combat aircraft, AMCAR is expected to become a key component of India's future air fleet. Development and certification phase is targeted for completion within 8 years. The BSF have recovered ICE, that is a drug consignment, and a drone worth over 30 crores in Punjab. The BSF troops launched a late-night strategic operation along the Amritsar border, where a drone movement was intercepted and neutralized using technical countermeasures deployed at the border. During search of the suspected, dropping 7 packets of ICE with a gross weight of 7.470 kgs were found inside. The international market worth of the consignment is over 30 crore rupees. The recovery was made from an irrigated agricultural field near village of district Amritsar. There has been an encounter between security forces and Maoists in the forest of village Amatola and Chote Betia police station of Kanker district. As per reports, one Maoist has been confirmed killed in this encounter. Security forces have recovered the body of the Maoist from the spot. The body has been brought to Pakhanjur police station and will be sent to Kanker district headquarters. Some soldiers are returned from the spot, while other soldiers are still conducting search operations in the area. Security forces are currently engaged in a thorough search of the entire area. Right, viewers. Now, after attacks in Beersheba by Iran, the IDF spokesperson says that Iran planned a larger barrage on Beersheba this morning. The Israeli forces say that they have destroyed some of the launches, and that's the breaking news we have right now. So, Iran was in fact planning a bigger attack in Beersheba. Remember, in Beersheba, there was a hospital, the largest hospital, in fact, in southern Israel, that was destroyed, where the old are treated, babies are treated, soldiers are treated. And there was a school and a residential building. There are other areas also that were targeted, but Beersheba had this very important site which was attacked. And now IDF say they have destroyed the launches, the missile launches of Iran. So, in fact, we are joined by my colleague Ratan, who is right now in Tel Aviv. Ratan, tell us more about what is the situation right now, because Beersheba has already witnessed a lot of damage, a lot of destruction, but the Israeli Defense Forces say that Iran, in fact, had bigger plans.
That's true. In fact, Beersheba was one of the only cities which got hit last night. We had seen fewer barrages of missiles coming in, and yesterday was the only city that got hit was Beersheba. I can confirm there were 5 people who were lightly injured. The missile hit outside an apartment, and most of the apartment has been damaged. But I also want to show you that I'm currently in Nineveh, which is 5 to 6 kilometers away from Tel Aviv. It's an ultra-Orthodox city, and behind me, if you can see, I'll try to pan the camera and take you back as well, that this is an area which is cordoned by the IDF and the police right now, because 3 or 4 days back, there was a direct missile hit by the Iranians, and the ballistic missile fell on a civilian area. There was a school right next to where I'm standing, where 300 students who had special needs, were disabled, used to study, and now the entire area has to be evacuated because nothing is left right now. It's all in rubbles. So I can show you a little, by crossing the street, what it looks from there.
Ratnadeep, in fact, just stay on with us. We are getting in more updates from this conflict, viewers. In fact, what we know is that the Israeli Air Force has struck the Iranian missile systems and the radar installations as well near Isfahan and Tehran. And these systems were intended to target Israeli Air Force's aircraft. These precision strikes expand Israel's aerial freedom in the Iranian airspace following the breakthrough to Tehran. That's what the Israeli Defense Forces are saying. IAF, that is Israeli Air Force, not Indian Air Force, Israeli Air Force, who continue to strike the military targets of the Iranian regime across central and western Iran. In fact, they say that the Israeli Air Force fighter jets struck the Iranian missile system. All right, Ratnadeep, this is the information we have. We clearly see that there are 2 goals that clearly have been outlined here by Israel. That first, of course, they have to completely decimate the Iranian nuclear program and render them completely powerless. And of course, the fall of the Iranian regime. As far as the goal is concerned of stripping them of all sorts of power, military power, that is something that I think the Israeli forces have been successful in. If you go by what they are claiming, that you see time and again the nuclear facilities are being hit, the missile launch pads are being hit, radar installations are being hit.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, right after yesterday's attack on the Beersheba hospital, it became more clear to the IDF and especially to the government out there that a regime change is something which they would want for sure. And right after they hit a civilian area, a critical infrastructure area, and most of the hospital is now damaged, it became much more clear to the government and the IDF that this is not something probable, but this is something which is a war goal. And the other part of destroying the nuclear capacity, we have seen how civilian areas here in Israel has been hit time and again. Behind me, as I just showed you, these are just the school, these are civilian areas, a hospital. These are areas which are hit. So the Israeli government here makes an argument that if the Iranians could actually get into Israeli cities and hit Israeli cities, even without them having a nuclear weapon now, what happens when they have one? And hence, they can never risk Iran having a nuclear weapon.
Right, stay on with us, Ratnadeep. In fact, if you could just show us around, because we've seen how Iran has been claiming to hit many areas in Tel Aviv also. But what is the situation right now? If you could just take us through what's happening there.
Currently, I would say for the last couple of days, at least yesterday, there was a hit in Holon, which was close to Tel Aviv. Yesterday, we had 2 sirens, but today in the morning, there was no siren at all in Tel Aviv region. The only siren that people heard, and there was an attack in Beersheba again, and a missile fell outside an apartment complex and injured around 5 people, lightly injured, no severe injuries, fortunately.
Yes.
But Tel Aviv has been a little quiet this morning, I would say.
Just stay on with us. We have some more breaking news coming in now. Israel viewers has also warned Hezbollah, that is the Lebanese group, of course, Iran-backed Lebanese terror group. So Israel's Defense Minister Israel Katz has made a big statement saying that Israel's patience with terror has run out, and he warns the Hezbollah, saying that they are making the same mistake as those before him, following the orders of Iranian dictatorship and threatening Israel. And in fact, Katz warned Hezbollah to exercise caution, and saying Israel's patience with terrorists who threaten it had worn thin. And the head of Iran-backed Hezbollah, Naim Qassem, said on Thursday, remember, that the group would act as it saw fit in the face of what he called brutal Israeli-American aggression against Iran. So that's, Israel Katz, who has been warning the Hezbollah. He has been warning Khamenei as well. And, this is another breaking news we have right now, that Katz is saying that Hezbollah should be, they should not misadventure. And remember, Hezbollah had vowed all forms of support to Iran amid this ongoing conflict that is only escalating. And in fact, this is what now Israel has said, that they have lost patience with terrorists. They have lost patience with terrorists, and that's a very strong statement that is coming in as Hezbollah has pledged support to Iran. It has been, remember, severely weakened. I think Ratnadeep is still with us. Ratnadeep, because we've seen that with the fight against Hamas, and how the Hamas leadership has also been, struck and how by the Israelis. Now, Hezbollah also, there were a lot of speculation as to what will be their role in here. But after the Hezbollah leader says that they will give them all sorts of support, we have cards, warning them. It's a dire warning that has been issued here. All right, we will continue to get you more details from Israel viewers. Time for a very, very short break, but don't go anywhere. A spate of Air India flight cancellations yet again today. 7 Air India domestic and international flights have been cancelled due to maintenance and operational issues yet again. Also, encounter underway between Maoists and police in Chhattisgarh's Kanker. 1 Maoist eliminated, body recovered. We'll get you more from ground zero.
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
וואי, יש שם, זה לא נפילות?
זה נפילות, אבא, זה נפילות.
Russia, Ukraine is so stupid. Would have never happened if I was president. You guys agree with that, right? Would have never happened if I was president. Putin would have never done it. And I spoke to him yesterday, and I said, you know, he actually offered to help mediate. I said, do me a favor. Mediate your own. Let's mediate Russia first, okay? I said, Vladimir, let's mediate Russia first. You can worry about this later. But I think that's going to work out too, but it's so many people have been killed. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
Mr. President, what do you want to do about that?
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. All right, any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it. Most importantly, you have millions of people dead. Millions of people dead because of three people. I would say three people. Let's say Putin, number one. But let's say Biden, who had no idea what the hell he was doing. Number two, and Zelensky. And all I can do is try and stop it. That's all I want to do. I want to stop the killing. And I think we're doing well in that regard. I think you'll have some very good proposals very soon.
Last question.
Internal tremors continue to shake the Karnataka BJP. Discontent is rising over state party president B.Y. Vijendra's leadership, with the BJP High Command likely to take a call soon. A powerful faction of senior leaders held a hush-hush meeting with Union Minister V. Somanna, signalling serious cracks within the state BJP unit. Those present in that meeting include MLA Ramesh Jarkiholi, former Minister Kumar Bangarappa, ex-Union Minister G.M. Siddeshwar, MLA BP Harish and NR Santosh, all pressing for a leadership change. While senior leaders are trying to douse the fire, the internal pushback against Vijendra refuses to die down. These rumblings come on a politically sensitive day. Union Home Minister Amit Shah is in Bengaluru for private engagements, even as the party stares at a possible showdown in its Karnataka ranks.
Pakistan Deputy Prime Minister makes a big admission, confirms India hit 2 key air bases. Also, Israel-Iran conflict enters second week. Tit-for-tat strike continues, massive damage in southern Israel.
विमल में गुलिस्तां की ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ घुले तो जी ललचाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की इस जुबान में खुद को ऐसा डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबान कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं ना? विमल बोलो जुबा केसरी।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
וואי, יש שם... זה לא נפילות?
זה נפילות, אבא, זה נפילות.
Russia, Ukraine is so stupid. Would have never happened if I was president. You guys agree with that, right? Would have never happened if I was president. Putin would have never done it. And I spoke to him yesterday and I said, you know, he actually offered to help mediate. I said, do me a favor. Mediate your own. Let's mediate Russia first, okay? I said, Vladimir, let's mediate Russia first. You can worry about this later. But I think that's going to work out too. But it's so many people have been killed.
I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
Mr. President, what do you want to do about that?
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. All right, any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it.
Most importantly, you have millions of people dead.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Live and Breaking at 3 p.m. I am Tanisha Avasti. There's a huge escalation yet again in the Israel-Iran conflict. Remember, it has already entered day 8. There is massive destruction that has been seen, especially in the southern part of Israel. We're getting a lot more update on that top story. But first, a quick check of the headlines that we're tracking at this hour. Iran's foreign minister says his country is not seeking negotiations with anyone as long as Israel continues its strike on Iran. Israel says Iran targeted Beersheba with large missile strike today, but the Israeli Air Force destroyed the launchers before they fired.
बिहार में जंगल राज लाने वाले मौका देख रहे हैं कि किसी भी तरह फिर से अपने पुराने कारनामे करने का मौका ढूंढ रहे हैं.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes on opposition in poll-bound Bihar, says opposition wants to bring back the jungle raj. Spate of Air India flight cancellations yet again. 7 Air India domestic and international flights cancelled due to maintenance and operational issues. Second leg of Operation Langra continues in Uttar Pradesh. Criminals shot in encounters in 10 cities. Encounter underway between Maoists and police in Chhattisgarh's Kanker. One Maoist eliminated and his body has been recovered.
Brought the IEA credibility under big questions, that they took the side of Israeli in order to wage an unlawful military attack against Iran. The Iranian side has the right to defend itself as it's enshrined in Article 51 of the United Nations Charter. And we will continue to defend our people, our country. And we actually continue until this aggression is condemned and stopped by international community. Let me ask you some question. You are the journalists, you are the people who actually are well aware of the situations going around. Okay, how many nuclear weapons Iran has got? 0. How many nuclear weapons has Israel got? 75 to 400. How many countries have been invaded by the Iran? 0. How many countries have been invaded by the Israel? 5. How many civilians were killed by Iran during 2023-2024? 0. How many people were killed, or civilians, by the Israelis? More than 75,000, mostly women and children in Gaza and other parts of the world. And the last question: who has been convicted as a war criminal by the ICC? Netanyahu, not the Iranian president, not Iranian officials. Okay, it is now you can judge who possess more threat to the world. This is the matter that we wanted that you know that we as an independent country who actually pay for its independence and will stand on its own feet, we are opposing the abuse of the other countries of some unbaseless excuses to attack or invade the other countries. We are not seeking for the war, but we are not bowing to any pressure, any kind of aggression. And we will stand on our feet to defend our people, our region. You know that Israelis are actually their allegation is that they are going to attack the Iranian nuclear facilities, which of course we say it is for the peaceful activities. But what would be the consequences if they succeed? Who will suffer? Just civilians, just the countries. Because of this one, we believe these aggressions should be stopped as soon as possible. It could be done via international joint effort. Those countries like India, who are the voice of the South, the big countries who actually are in favor of peace, they should coordinate and put pressure on Israel. But I think at the first step, they should condemn this action not to be happen in the future. In 1981, when Israeli they attacked the Iraqi nuclear reactor, the Security Council passed the resolution 478. They condemned such these actions to attack the nuclear facilities around the world. And they, by the Article number 2, they warned and they wanted Israel not to repeat again. You see, Even the Israelis government, Israelis officials, they don't respect any regulations, anything, just their own goal, which is the supremacy in the region. And for the supremacy, they will sacrifice and they will kill whatever, whoever is in the way. They just, it is very ridiculous, they will play the role of the victim. They kill the people. Why they will say that we are the victim? It is ridiculous. This is the matter that we believe they cannot do anything more. The Iran is in favor of peace, in favor of, we can say, peace and actually not any more war in the world. And we are accepting, we are welcoming any initiation, but we don't accept anything which is imposed, even if it is peace. As our leader mentioned, that we are not accepting imposed peace. The peace should be based on some basis. This base could be condemnation and stop the aggressor, and make this one not happen in the future. You know that this is a difficult time. We thank Indian people, Indian figures who actually sympathizes with us and who actually supporting. This is the time that I can say those who are actually friend in needs are friend in deeds. We don't forget any country, any government, any nation that they stood beside us to tackle such a disaggregation which has been made by one of the vicious regime in the world. And I thank you for this time to listening to my short speeches. Yes.
Hi sir, I'm Siddhant. I have two small questions. First, when it comes to the evacuation of Indian nationals, how is Iranian government helping India? And my second question is, we have seen the Pakistani army chief going to US at a time when Iran, which is its neighbor, has been suffering the attack. So what do you have to say about the Pakistani presence? Because they discuss Iran as well, and there are reports that the American side is keen that Pakistan helps them in whatever plans they are making.
Regarding your first question, we are in a close contact with the MEA.
All right, so that was the press conference of the Iranian embassy in India, where they say that Iran is not in the favor of war, but in the favor of peace. But until and unless Israel continues to strike them, they will not bow down, and that Iran has every right to defend themselves and protect their people. Meanwhile, we move on to other breaking news that's coming in. More than 50 fighter jets have been attacked, selected targets of the nuclear weapons program and industrial sites for the production of missile components in Tehran overnight. So that's a huge escalation yet again that's coming to fore, where we learned that there have been more than 50 fighter jets that have been attacked, selected targets of the nuclear weapons program and industrial sites for the production of missile components in Tehran overnight. Remember, there have been back-to-back tit-for-tat strikes that have come to the fore, especially targeting of the nuclear areas. And in the latest, we learned that over 50 Israeli fighter jets have struck Tehran. All right, so the conflict has entered its day 8. It's in the second week of the conflict, where we learn that Israel has now confirmed that they have targeted 50 Israeli jets, and that most of them were of the weapons program and the industrial sites of the production of missile components, and this specifically has happened in Tehran. Remember, Iran is yet to respond to these. The IDF is making these claims, but what we do know so far is over the time, in about 8 days, where Israel and Iran have struck each other, most of them have been nuclear sites, be it in Tel Aviv or for this matter in Tehran. And that's the latest breaking news update that we're getting in, where 50 fighter jets of the Israeli have attacked the nuclear facility in Iran, Tehran to be specific in this case. Meanwhile, as the escalation continues, Republic is on the front line. Republic is reporting from ground zero, giving you a ground report, a detailed report on where are those places which have been struck. Here is a report showing the aftermath from Israel's commercial capital. Take a look.
I'm currently standing in Bnei Brak, which is an ultra-Orthodox town located 3 to 4 kilometers from Tel Aviv. A direct Iranian missile hit this town 3 to 4 days back, and you can see behind me most of the buildings were affected, and there was a school which is located right opposite to me for disabled students where over 300 students study, and the school was also affected. You can see clearly what we have shown in the other videos, that this is also one of the civilian areas which was impacted, and almost all the missiles that were targeted by the Iranian regime has only been targeted on civilian population and civilian areas. I'll try to pan my camera and show you what it looks from behind.
More breaking news coming in. Israel has released a video which appears to show a missile fragment hitting the ground in Israel after interception. The municipality of the Yehuda in Israel released a video on Friday that appears to show a fragment hitting the ground after a missile from Iran was intercepted. So that's a big blow to Iran, where another missile has been intercepted by Israel. This is a video that has been released by Israel, where you can see how a missile fragment hit to the ground in Israel after interception. The municipality of Yehuda in Israel has released this video on just a few moments back that appears to show a fragment of a missile that the Iran had fired hitting the ground after it was intercepted by the Israelis. All right, joining us live on that is Nick from Tel Aviv. Nick, there's a recent video that we are showing it to our viewers where Israel has intercepted another missile that Iran had fired. It had hit the ground. The fragments are being seen. What is the current situation on ground like?
Now I'm the center of Tel Aviv. This is the street of Dizengoff, and here you can see again, cafes are open, restaurants are open. Many people are going outside, although of those barrages of rockets, but people still want to continue to live their lives. And I want to show you something amazing. This is one of the bars in the center of Tel Aviv. And what they are saying that we have here a good bomb shelters, which are good enough for you, and they are close to here. And it shows you that the most important thing now for the Israelis is to have bomb shelters next to them. It's not a good drink or meal, but it is to be safe. And this is the situation in Israel already for 1 week, that Israelis are under constant barrage of rockets from Iran, like the one that you showed in Or Yehuda, the city in the center of Israel. And those residential areas, like here behind me, are the targets of the Iranian ballistic missiles. Some of them have illegal ammunition, cluster bombs, which full of small bombs. It's a one big ballistic missile that spreading a lot of smaller bombs, and they can damage a lot of people and places all around. So right now, the situation now in the center of Israel is calm, because Israelis, after decades of this kind of atmosphere with a continuous war against the proxies of Iran in Lebanon, in Gaza, in Syria, in Iraq, in Yemen, they are used to this kind of reality of constant barrages of rockets and terror attacks, and they know that they need to continue to live in some way. Back to you.
Right, Nick. Thank you very much for sharing those details. We will keep coming back to you as and when there are more updates on the story. For now, we move on to some more breaking news that's coming in. And as a part of Operation Safe Return, a passenger ship returned to Israel from Cyprus and was received this morning at the port of Ashdod in Israel. So this is a part of Operation Safe Return, where we are looking at how a passenger ship that has returned to Israel from Cyprus and was received this morning at the port of Ashdod in Israel. Remember, Israel has initiated Operation Safe Return, visuals of which are on your screen, and as a result, one of the ship has landed in Ashdod in Israel, where citizens are being evacuated for their safe return. They're being moved to safer areas. Nick again is joining me live on the broadcast. He's staying with us, in fact. Nick, talk to us about what this operation is all about and what is it aiming at.
Yes, so in Israel is about 100,050 are stuck abroad. And Israel, maybe this is the only nation that people want to come back to the country while there is a war erupting in their region, because the people here are patriotic and they understand that this is war of survival, and they want to be close to their friends, to their families, loved ones, those who can support the army, supporting the army or going to the army as a reservists. And this is the way of them to come back to Israel and support Israel, because the airspace is closed. So there are not many ways that Israelis can come back to Israel. Israel is surrounded by not such a friendly countries. And that's why it's hard for Israelis to go back to Israel. But still, they're trying to do it via the sea with the ships that even the national airline of Israel, El Al, rented some of those ships in order to return back their passengers whose flights were canceled. And now from Israel, it is really hard to go out, but Israel tries to bring back all the people, and some of them are coming also with flights, but those flights are not introduced to the public. They don't want that Iran will know exactly when those flights are landing in Israel, because it's really dangerous because of those barrages of rockets. So Israel tries to find some slots for those commercial flights in order to bring back its citizens, but they are not taking people from the airport because it takes much longer to do check-in for new passengers, but to take people out of the plane is much faster and it is more secure. So that's why Israel is doing this operation, which they call it the return home, and the rescue operation of Israelis that stuck abroad. Back to you.
Right. Nick, thank you very much for sharing those details. Meanwhile, it is the Iranian foreign minister who has said that Iran is not seeking negotiations with anyone as long as Israeli attacks continue. Now, the Israeli foreign minister is set to meet with the representatives from different countries like that of Britain, Germany, France and European Union in Geneva. Here's the soundbite that you need to hear about what he said on no negotiations at all.
تهاجمات رژیم صهیونیستی ادامه داره، خواهان مذاکره با هیچ کسی نیستیم. الحمدلله مقاومت جانانه‌ای که نیروهای مسلح ما کردن به تدریج داره آشکار میکنه که اون فکری که اینها کرده بودن که مثلا با یک سری ضربات برق‌آسا میتونن ملت ایران تسلیم کنن، یک فکر باطل. ما در شرایط حاضر و در شرایطی که تهاجمات رژیم صهیونیستی ادامه داره، خواهان مذاکره با هیچ کسی نیستیم. الحمدلله مقاومت جانانه‌ای که نیروهای مسلح ما کردن به تدریج داره آشکار میکنه که اون فکری که اینها کرده بودن که مثلا با یک سری ضربات برق‌آسا میتونن ملت ایران تسلیم کنن، یک فکر باطل.
That was the statement of the Iranian foreign minister. Meanwhile, we are getting a lot more updates on the raging conflict. Let's take a look at some of them. Israel has stated that Iran's attack on a hospital and residential building were a violation of international law. Israeli army spokesperson has said that there is no doubt that the Iranian regime deliberately and maliciously shot at the hospital and a population center with the aim of harming the civilians. Iran has launched a new attack on southern Israel. A fire erupted and cars were set ablaze following the attack, which took place today. The Israeli army stated the sirens were sounded in several areas across Israel following the identification of missiles launched from Iran towards Israel. The emergency services have not reported any casualties, but released video shows car on fire and a big cloud of smoke rising near some buildings. The The Israel Defense Forces has stated that the Israeli Air Force and Navy have intercepted hundreds of UAVs launched from Iran. As per reports, over 95% of threatening drones were successfully neutralized. Aerial defense systems, observation units, missile ships and aircrafts are working in coordinated 24/7 operations to protect Israeli airspace. These efforts run parallel to offensive strikes which are aimed at degrading Iran's firepower. The intercepted drones and missiles were intended to strike Israeli population centers, underscoring the ongoing threat to civilians. President of Israel arrived at Socorro Hospital in Beersheba this morning. There he met the director of the hospital, Professor Shalomi, along with doctors, nurses and patients. He said that the Jews and Muslims were both present and together have looked at the destruction and devastation caused by Iranian missile that was fired indiscriminately with the sole intention of taking innocent lives in the hospital. He emphasized this is a war crime. And it's time for us to slip into a short break, but after the break, we'll get to that statement of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was in poll-bound Bihar, where he has hit out at the opposition with his Jungle Raj jibe. Also, after the break, are details of how there is spate of Air India flight cancellations. Yet again, we'll get the details of how many international and domestic flights have been cancelled just today.
विमल में गुलिस्तां के ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ गुले तो जी ललचाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की जुबान में खुद को ऐसे डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबान कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं? विमल, बोलो जुबान कैसी?
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
כל המיון. תראו את כולם רצים, תראו את האנשים, תראו את האנשים.
Early this morning, an Iranian ballistic missile directly hit the Soroka hospital in Beersheba. This hospital serves over 1 million Israelis, including Bedouins, Jews, Christians, and Arabs alike. Iran targeting civilian centers with ballistic missiles is no surprise for us. They have been openly declaring their desire to destroy the state of Israel for decades now.
את המצב בחמינאי, היטלר המודרני. אדם עומד עשרות שנים בראש מעצמה. יש לו השפעה אידיאולוגית רבה. הוא מפעיל אותה ואומר שהוא בעד השמדת ישראל. הוא מפעיל את כל המשאבים גם על חשבון העם שלו.
I have seen what it takes to report from the front lines. Accuracy, courage, urgency and responsibility. At Republic School of Journalism, you will be trained for that reality. It is not theory. It is live learning from inside a working newsroom from day one. If you want to report the truth when it matters the most, Republic School of Journalism is where you begin. Course begins on the 30th of June. Apply now.
विमल में गुलिस्तां की ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ गुले तो जी ललचाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की इस जुबान में खुद को ऐसा डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबान कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं ना? विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
יש שם, זה לא נפילות?
זה נפילות, אבא, זה נפילות.
Russia, Ukraine is so stupid. Would have never happened if I was president. You guys agree with that, right? Would have never happened if I was president. Putin would have never done it. And I spoke to him yesterday and I said, you know, he actually offered to help mediate. I said, do me a favor. Mediate your own. Let's mediate Russia first, okay? I said, Vladimir, let's mediate Russia first. You can worry about this later. But I think that's going to work out too, but it's so many people have been killed. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
Mr. President, what do you want to do about that?
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. All right, any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it.
Iran's foreign minister says his country is not seeking negotiations with anyone as long as Israel continues to strike Iran. Israel says that Iran targeted Beersheba with a large missile strike today, but the Israeli Air Force destroyed the launcher before they fired.
बिहार में जंगल राज लाने वाले मौका देख रहे हैं कि किसी भी तरह फिर से अपने पुराने कारनामे करने का मौका ढूंढ रहे हैं.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes on the opposition in poll-bound Bihar, says opposition wants to bring back Jungle Raj. Spate of Air India flight cancellations yet again. 7 Air India domestic and also international flights cancelled today due to maintenance and operational issues. Second leg of Operation Langra continues in Uttar Pradesh. Criminals shot in encounter in 10 cities. Encounter underway between Maoists and police in Chhattisgarh's Kanker. One Maoist eliminated. Welcome viewers, you're watching Live and Breaking. I'm Naxal with you. We start with the news coming in from West Asia viewers. Now, Israeli strikes in Iran continue in full swing. And in the latest, the breaking news is that the Israeli Air Force has struck Iran's selected targets. More than 50 fighter jets of Israel have struck selected targets on nuclear weapons program and industrial sites for the production of missile components in Tehran overnight. So more than 35 of Iranian missile sites and also nuclear sites have been destroyed by Israeli Air Force. That's the breaking news we have right now. And for this, Israeli Air Force had deployed more than 50 fighter jets. That's the breaking news we have. So Israel on its path, on its operation of decimating the Iranian nuclear program. And now multiple targets in Tehran in the latest have been hit by the jets, the fighter jets of Israel. That's the breaking news we have right now. Iranian missile production sites have also been hit. And so have these nuclear sites as well. Yesterday we saw how the Iraq facility, hard water facility, had been also destroyed by, had been at least hit. We do not know yet the level of destruction, but that's a nuclear reactor Israel claims it has struck yesterday and today too. In Tehran, several of the nuclear facilities and missile sites have been also, missile production sites have been hit. And you have the visuals coming in as Iran hits the Beersheba city. And in fact, it planned even a bigger attack in Beersheba. Now we have the Israelis hitting back at Iran, the counter-strike in Iran by Israel on their nuclear sites and missile sites as well. Meanwhile, viewers, Republic TV is the only channel reporting from the war zone. Here's a report showing the aftermath from Israel's commercial capital.
I'm currently standing in central Tel Aviv, which has been very much affected with the Iranian ballistic missile. As you can see at the back, most of the buildings are charred and have been destroyed. And if I could pan the camera to the other side and I can show you, most of the buildings here have been completely destroyed and the areas have been evacuated. Most of the citizens once are flooding a street with people flooding in, eating in the cafes around. It looks very empty right now. And at this point of time, we could hardly see anyone on the street. What do you see right now? What was before?
Very popular hub for Olim and Israelis alike. There's lots of different internet cafes in the area that are now closed because of the damage behind us. It used to be a very normal streets. Down there, there's a very well-known internet cafe that is now closed. It's insane. I try not to walk here super often since Sunday because of all the glass and all the destruction, but eventually it's just unavoidable. So it's a bit freaky seeing it and just what it used to be. It used to be just a very normal place where you just see everyone, like as you walk down all the cafes, you see everyone you know, and now it's just totally different.
And let's focus on that building for a second. Can you show that building? That building is standing for sure, but that looks nothing like what it used to be.
No, standing, but it's just barely. I mean, thankfully a lot of the buildings in the area, as long as you're in the shelter in the miklach or the mamak or the mamad, whatever you go to when there's a siren, you'll be safe. But then you exit and it's just absolutely chaos and destruction. So it's just tons of broken windows. It just looks bad.
And now, viewers, there's a breaking news coming in. There's a missile that has been launched from the northern Gaza Strip that has been detected. And it fell in an open area in Beersheba. So from the Gaza Strip as well, the missiles have been launched towards Beersheba, and now that attempt has also been thwarted, and no casualties have been reported so far in Beersheba. But there you have the visuals from the city of Beersheba, where Iran has attacked. In fact, it has today attempted another a strike in Beersheba. This is the hospital and the residential building, then the school that have been hit. This is the residential building, as you can see, sites of destruction in Israel. These are residential buildings in several areas of Israel that have been struck by the ballistic missiles launched from Iran. But this one is from Gaza. We're talking about the latest attempt is made from Gaza, this is a strike aimed at the Beersheba city once again. And however, no casualty has been reported. The strike has been intercepted and has been detected. It fell in an open area in Beersheba. So breaking news coming in right now. The firefighting continues, and the missiles being fired by the Iranians and the proxy groups of Iran as well. And Israel, of course, continues to strike back. Now, as tensions spiral in the Middle East amid the escalating Israel-Iran conflict, fears mount